Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about a story that feels almost unbelievable, yet it carries lessons that can change the way we look at life forever. The story is about a millionaire single dad who found a homeless woman digging through trash on Christmas Eve, and what she said in that one meeting completely changed his life. At first, it seems like just another tale of wealth and poverty colliding, but as we explore deeper, it becomes a journey into compassion, second chances, and the true meaning of Christmas. The exterior of this story begins in a picture-perfect way for one side and painfully tragic for the other. On one side, the millionaire father was driving home in his luxury car through streets decorated with bright lights, festive trees sparkling in windows, and children rushing in excitement to celebrate Christmas. It was the kind of evening where everything looked warm, glowing, and filled with joy. But then his eyes shifted to another scene, the exterior of poverty that most of us try to ignore. A woman, wrapped in a worn-out coat, her hands trembling from the cold, searching through a trash bin for scraps of food. This contrast of exteriors was shocking, the polished success of wealth on one hand and the broken reality of survival on the other. It is within this stark difference that the story finds its ground. The interior, though simple, carries the weight of everything that matters. When the father stepped out of his car and asked the woman what she was doing, she didn't hide or feel ashamed. She looked up with tired eyes and said she was just trying to find something to eat because she hadn't eaten in days. That one line pierced through his heart. He, a man who could afford anything for his child, suddenly realized that here was someone who had nothing, not even a meal for Christmas. Inside that brief exchange was an entire world of truth. The hunger, the loneliness, and the strength to still speak with dignity despite having nothing. The interior of this encounter wasn't about luxury or comfort, it was about raw humanity meeting compassion at the most unexpected time. Performance in this story is not about material success or achievements but about the actions taken in a crucial moment. The millionaire father, who had been living his life focused only on providing the best material things for his child, realized that performance is measured by how we respond to others in need. He could have driven past, pretending not to notice, as so many people do. But he stopped, he asked, and more importantly, he listened. The woman also performed in her own way. Though life had crushed her, she still carried herself with honesty. She did not beg, did not cry for pity, but spoke openly about her reality. That simple performance of courage and truth was more powerful than any speech or lesson he had ever received. It was through this performance of honesty and kindness that the story began to transform. Safety features come in different forms, and here, they were not about locks, alarms, or walls. For the father, safety had always meant financial security and protecting his child from harm. But in this story, he learned a new kind of safety, the emotional safety that comes from compassion. When he invited the woman to share a meal with him and his child, he created a safe space for her, even if just for one night. And in return, she gave him something he didn't know he was missing, a reminder that emotional warmth, kindness, and understanding are the true shields against loneliness and emptiness. The safety feature in this story is the discovery that protecting someone's dignity can be as important as protecting their life. The unique selling point of this story is the twist it offers against what most people expect. Usually, stories of millionaires are about them giving gifts, making donations, or displaying their wealth in charitable ways. But here, the millionaire didn't change the woman's life with money alone, instead, she changed his life with her words. When he asked her what she wished for, she didn't ask for money, clothes, or even shelter. She simply said, "I wish for a chance, not just for me, but for someone to see me as a person and not a problem." That sentence shook him to his core. It wasn't about wealth, it was about recognition, about humanity. That was the unique selling point. This was not a story about giving charity, it was a story about transformation through human connection. Price is another aspect that adds weight to this story. Of course, in terms of money, the millionaire could afford to buy anything, and he later did help her with food and a place to stay. But the real price was much deeper than dollars. For the father, the price was stepping away from the comfort of his own world and letting someone else's pain touch him. He had to pay with vulnerability, with opening his heart to a stranger, with letting go of indifference. For the woman, the price was her courage to speak her truth without knowing how he would react. She risked judgment, rejection, and yet she still shared her feelings. Both of them paid in ways that money cannot measure, and what they received in return was far more valuable than anything money could buy. In conclusion, this story is not just about a rich man meeting a poor woman on Christmas Eve. It is about the power of compassion to break barriers, about the way one simple encounter can open a person's eyes to what truly matters. The millionaire father walked into that night thinking he had everything, wealth, status, and comfort, but realized he was missing the heart of Christmas, connection, kindness, and love. The homeless woman walked into that night with nothing but hunger, yet she left having changed someone's life forever. Together, their story reminds us that every life has meaning, every voice deserves to be heard, and every act of kindness can create ripples far beyond what we can imagine. It teaches us that miracles don't always come wrapped in gifts or wealth, they often come in the form of human connection at the right time. And perhaps the greatest lesson of all is that when we choose to see others not as problems but as people, we not only change their lives but also transform our own.